Good morning, Urban Round family, and anyone listening. This is Pastor Lurie with a moment in the Word on this Labor Day weekend. Hey, you got the day off today. Uh, Use it, make it fruitful. A rest, but look for an opportunity to be a blessing to someone. I was reading this morning Psalms 104, which is a appropriate Psalms for Labor Day. In it, God is going to describe all of his, or the psalmist is going to describe all the wonderful works that God does in our day by day activities that we seldom even think about. We don't see God at work in it, and yet it's God that makes all life possible, both human and animal. And uh, just in case you don't bother to take time to read Psalms 104 today, allow me to read it to you. It's a little bit long, but I believe it will give you an opportunity to uh, reflect upon how God is an example that we are to be workers. So allow me to read it to you. Um, He says, Bless the Lord, O my soul, O Lord my God, thou art very great, thou art clothed with honor and majesty, who covereth thyself with light, with a garment, who stretches out the heavens like a curtain, who uh, who layeth the beams of his chamber in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot, who walketh upon the wings of the wind, who maketh his angels spirits, the ministers a flaming fire, who laid, now then, notice especially, that's introducing us to God, but now notice what God does. Notice how God, day by day, is at work. Sometimes we think God did work 6 days in the beginning, did everything, and God sat down and ceased to do anything. But my friend, God just rested from his create. He just stopped. He ceased to create. And once he ceased to create, now then, he is involved in maintaining. Colossians tells us that that Jesus created all things, and by him all things consist. And so God is at work today. And let me share with you what God is doing. Beginning in verse 5 of Psalms 104, who or he laid the foundation of the earth, that it should not be removed forever. Thou coverest it with the deep as with a garment. The waters stood above the mountains. At thy rebuke they fled. At the voice of thy thunder they hasted away. They go up by the mountains, they go down by the valleys unto the place which thou hast founded for them. Thou hast set a bound that they may not pass over, that they turn not again to cover the earth. He sendeth the springs into the valleys which run among the hills. They gave drink to every beast of the fields. The wild donkeys quenched their thirst. By them shall the fowls of the heavens have their habitation, which sing among the branches. He watereth the hills from his chambers. The earth is satisfied with the fruits of thy works. He causes the grass to grow for the cattle, and herbs for the service of man, that he may bring forth food out of the earth thereof. And then he continues on the next page, if I can get this here done. Let me back up and finish here. Verse 14. He causes the grass to grow for the cattle, and herbs for the service of man, that he may bring forth food out of the earth, and wine that maketh glad the heart of man, and oil to make the face to shine, and bread which strengtheneth man's heart. The trees of the Lord are full of sap, and cedars of Lebanon, which he hath planted, When the birds make their nest, as for the stork, the fir tree are their house. The high hills are a refuge for the wild goats, and the rocks for the cronies. He appointed the moon for seasons. The sun knoweth his going down. Thou makest darkness, and it is night, wherein all the beasts of the forest do creep forth. The young lion roars after their prey and seeks their meat from God. Notice here, the sun arises. They gather themselves together and lay down in their dens. That's the animals. Notice what happens when daylight comes. Man goeth forth unto his work and to his labor until the evening. O Lord, how manifold are thy works! In wisdom as thou made them all, the earth is full of thy riches. So is this great and wide sea wherein are things creeping, innumerable, both small and great beasts. If I might just give some for time's sake, but he says here, verse 29, thou hidest, in verse 31, the glory of the Lord shall endure forever. The Lord shall rejoice in his works. He looketh on the earth, and it trembleth. He toucheth the hills, and they smoke. I will sing unto the Lord as long as I live. I will sing praises to my God while I have my breath. My meditation of him shall be sweet. I will be glad in the Lord. If we were to turn to Psalms, or not to Psalms, but to Matthew chapter 11, in verse 28, Jesus says, come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. My friend, what dignity God gives to work. What an example he sets for us. What an example Christ set for us when he rose early a long time before day to go and talk to God and to plan out his day, and then go throughout the cities healing even into the evenings, the Bible tells us. So Christ sets forth the proper example. In 2 Thessalonians, in chapter 3, verse 10, Paul, writing to the Thessalonians, he had gotten word there that some of the Thessalonians were so convinced that Christ may come any moment, they had sat down and ceased to work. And so he says there in verse 10, there that, as I've written to you before, that those who do not work do not eat. My friend, it is man's lot to work. In Genesis, after Adam sinned, God said, by the sweat of thy brow shall thou earn thy bread until thou returnest unto dust. And so how wonderful it is that God provides everything that we need, but then he allows us to co-labor with him and doing that which is our responsibility, to go out to do an honest day's labor. How fitting it is that a nation sets aside a special day in which we honor all of those who often are not thought about, who are not mentioned, who receive no glory, but from God they are able to sustain themselves through the strength, the wisdom, the opportunities he gives them. A rest today, if it's possible. It may be some of you will have to work, but nonetheless, let's rejoice in the day and remember all those who makes the world to operate through the power of God. God uses individuals to accomplish what it is that God wants to accomplish so that we can enjoy life here. Go forth today. Bless someone. It'll be a blessing to them. It'll bless you. It'll bless God, and God will bless you. If you got the day off, enjoy it and rest, or get involved doing that which brings pleasure to you, as long as it's right within the Lord. Have a wonderful and blessed Labor Day.